back to our Godcast here. I know that it's been a few weeks, and as Jeannie and I moved out here, we became involved with real-time ministry, right, and spending time with all of you. But I wanted to take a minute and just add some color commentary, I guess, to our last couple of Sunday morning lessons together. In particular, Flesh and Bones, which we did last week, and then the Word Made Flesh from 2 weeks ago before Mother's Day. These lessons were a little bit more meaty in content, and I've been reflecting on how they've landed and whether they were the best approach to begin with, and I've concluded that they are. And at the same time, I think that they probably need a little bit of illumination to kind of center us and again, to keep them simple. So as we began our study in the Gospel of John together, what I really want for the church is to understand just the power of God coming and being made flesh. This is an ancient and powerful Christian teaching, one of the foundational beliefs of our faith in Christ. And it's filled with a lot of mystery. It can be quite abstract and difficult to understand. Yeah, so what, right? So what's the big deal? We understand it and we ascribe to it, but what I really want us to do is internalize it. And so what I'm going to do for a few minutes here is just hyperlink us back to the last couple of conversations we've had and attempt to, again, like that lens, right, bring a little bit of focus into these conversations. And so this short Godcast is really meant as a companion to some of the things that we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. And I hope that it strings those things together for you, and you find it useful as an add-on. And so when we began this enterprise, we started talking a little bit about seeing Jesus, right? Seeing Jesus as the light of the world, and the importance of seeing Jesus through the eyes of God, and then seeing God through the person of Jesus. And we had a long conversation about the difference between looking at something and looking through something, right? And we talked about that when I'm looking at something, I'm trying to discern what something is, right? When I'm looking at through something, I am trying to discern what something else is with my eyes focused on the thing which I'm looking through. Let me say that a different way. When I am looking at my glasses, that is not the same thing as looking at the table through my glasses, right? And so the idea of looking through Christ, right, seeing the world through his lens, it really is more, it's not about just staring at the person of Christ and being excited about what he could do or what he said or what he taught. Those are powerful things and they change us. But Christian living is about seeing the rest of the world through the teachings of Jesus. Let me give you a simple for instance. I can read the Gospel of John, and I can be fascinated by the incarnation. I can be fascinated by the fact that Jesus treated the woman at the well so differently than other men of his culture. I can be motivated and inspired by that story. I can find it heartrending when I watch what the Jews did to Jesus on the cross, or what the Romans did to Jesus in the courts so that the Jews could put Jesus on the cross, right? When I can see those things, and they can make me aware and compassionate, even empathetic towards women. But seeing women that are struggling through the eyes of Jesus means that when I come across a similar situation, I will act accordingly. I will act in the same manner. That I will see a woman with a difficult past through the eyes of Jesus. I will not judge. I will not look down. And I won't just satisfy myself that, oh, I'm a great thinker. I think better about people, but I will actually engage and believe in the usefulness, the purpose, the ability to impact the world around her in that woman's life the way that Jesus did. This is seeing the gospel through the eyes of Jesus. And so we talked a lot about the difference between being in the light and letting the light actually illuminate who we are and the things that we see. And I think there is a very important distinction there. Not being so enamored by the light that we can't see the things that it's showing us. We live in a real world with real people, with real challenges. And just being church people and being satisfied to know and experience the things that the light has shown us without letting that light guide us into acting like Christ, into engaging the world the way that he did, we're missing something very, very important. And I think Jesus might say we're missing the point entirely. Right? So John 1 introduces us to Jesus as the light that is the life of men. The second big idea that we talked about a couple of weeks ago was grasping the nature of the flesh of Jesus. And just this past week, we talked a lot about flesh and bone. And I went to some trouble to discuss the idea that Jesus' physical body, his flesh, his bones, the things that he was made of, the structure of him, if you will, the posts beneath the skin, right? The bones beneath the tent of meeting, if you will. To kind of tease out those metaphors for us, that the incarnation of Jesus wasn't just God's way to get close to us. It wasn't just about showing us things about himself. It does all of that, but it also changes human nature. That because God became a man and experienced humanity from our physical and emotional and spiritual point of view, we now are a changed humanity. That after the resurrection of Christ, our bodies have capabilities and have an endurance and have a supernatural aura about them that they did not have before Christ died. That his death changes my body, not just my beliefs, not just my lifestyle, but my physical body is impacted, because now my physical body does not die the death of men before the time of Christ. That I will have a very different death experience, a very different future, both physical and spiritual, because of Jesus' physical body. So I hope that this Godcast gives you a little bit of a refresher and helps to clarify some of the things we've talked about in great length in the last couple of Sundays. Stay tuned for more. We'll keep talking about these things, and I will continue to try and break them down as much as possible so that we understand not just what they are, but what they mean for us in Christ.